c4, e6, knight c3, d5, d4, knight f6, c takes d5, knight takes d5, e4, knight takes c3, b takes c3, c5, rook b1, c takes d4, c takes d4, knight c6, knight f3, bishop b4 check, bishop d2, bishop takes d2 check, queen takes d2, castle kingside, bishop b5, knight e7, castle kingside, b6, h4, bishop b7, rook fe1, rook c8, h5, h6, knight e5, queen d6, rook b3, f5, f3, a6, bishop f1, b5, queen e3, rook fd8, rook d1, knight c6, knight takes c6, bishop takes c6, a4, f takes e4, f takes e4, bishop e8, a takes b5, bishop takes h5, rook d2, a takes b5, rook takes b5, bishop g6, rook d1, rook b8, e5, queen e7, rook takes b8, rook takes b8, bishop c4, rook d8, queen h3, bishop f7, queen g4, queen d7, queen e4, queen a4, bishop e2, king h8, king h2, bishop g8, queen g4, queen a7, rook d2, queen b6, rook d3, queen a7, rook d1, queen b6, bishop f3, queen a7, queen f4, queen a4, king g3, queen b4, king h3, rook f8, queen e3, rook d8, g4, rook c8, king g3, bishop h7, g5, Rook c3. Queen f4. Queen b7. Rook c1. Rook d3. Queen f8 check. Bishop g8. G takes h6. Queen f7. H takes g7 check. Queen takes g7 check. Queen takes g7 check. King takes g7. Rook c4. Bishop f7. King f4. Rook d2. Bishop g4. King f8. Rook c8 check. King e7. Rook c7 check. King f8. King e3. Rook g2. Bishop f3. Rook b2. Bishop e2. Bishop g6. Bishop g4. Bishop f7. King f4. Rook b4. Rook d7. King e8. Rook d6. King e7. Bishop f3. Bishop e8. King g5. Rook a4. Bishop g4. Bishop f7. Bishop e2. Rook b4. Bishop f3. Bishop e8. King h6. Bishop f7. Bishop c6. Rook b2. King g7. Rook c2. Rook d7 check. King e8. Rook c7 check. King d8. Rook d7 check. King e8. Rook c7 check. King d8. Rook takes f7. Rook takes c6. King f6. Rook c4. King takes e6. Rook takes d4. Rook f8 check. King c7. King e7. Rook h4. e6. Rook h7 check. King f6. Rook h6 check. King f7. Rook h7 check. King g6. Rook h1. e7. Rook g1 check. King h5.